What's up, dude? It's
Oh,
so dark in my room. Trying to get the lighting right.
your
Boy,
big old
shut
head's
up. I don't
blocking
even
it.
play. What was for dinner? Chicken.
Chicken
Grilled chicken?
and salad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hannah's been mean to the dog.
Poor
Yeah.
Zoe.
Trying to get NFL's website, they
Really?
won't
It
respond.
wasn't, what's up? Just being
She's
mean to
being
Zoe still?
crazy. No. Well, we fed her like an hour ago, and now she's deciding to eat as I do this.
Oh, man.
So, oh, there it goes. Sweet. Yeah, no, I thought like if I got home at 6 and I threw all that on, I'd be good to go at like 6:30. But then I forgot
Yeah.
I had to eat
Kind of
also.
have to do that to live, man.
So, well, I didn't know what time she was gonna be home, so I thought I'd
Yeah,
have like
true.
a window. But she got that I was cooking. Um, so we'll just go over obviously the NFL weekend. Um, I think baseball's
Oh,
set.
it's
Fine,
set.
well,
They play
almost set.
wild card games tonight.
Is it tonight? Well, is it
Are you
tonight? I
sure?
think the Yankees play tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, they do. You're right.
Something. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, they play
But
the A's tomorrow, and then tonight is Chicago and Colorado. No,
are
you're
you
you're
set up
good.
and ready to go, or? All right, I'm trying to get there. Um, I guess we can start off. So it'll just be our weekend recap or
hmm
reactions, whatever you want to call it. Try and do this every Tuesday for everybody. If you're watching,
Welcome.
thanks for tuning in. If not,
We'll
you'll
catch it.
get the video.
So week 4 of the NFL was last night or last weekend. Exciting.
Yeah, it was. There was a couple good. Like the Dallas game was good. The Tennessee game was good, and that LA game last Thursday. We
Right.
already talked about that. And then the
That
KC
was good.
Denver last night was well. Patrick Mahomes is a freak, man. I don't know where the talent came from. Like everyone thought he would be okay, but no one expected 5-0 and having the
No,
best offense in the
he
league.
looked good, especially the last 2 drives at the end of the game. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's accurate, makes good decisions. If they could just like if Andy and I give a lot of credit to Andy Reid too. He's like the quarterback
Oh yeah.
wizard when it comes to that West style offense. But they got to figure something out with that defense.
Yeah, they're giving up way too many points, especially to,
Like I yeah, and which last night was a little different. Last night you seen Denver kind of stop them a little bit early. You know, I think it was like it was 10-10
yeah, it
at
was tied at
halftime
the
or
half.
something. Yeah, so like they gave them a run and they were able to, at least Mahomes didn't crack under pressure. He performed when it was time to really perform because they've been in blowouts pretty much all year. So it was good to see them play a little bit better defense. I mean, they still put up 27, which is great, and they gave up 23, which 23 might be like the
Yeah,
least
they've been
amount of
giving
points
up
they've given
30
up all year.
plus.
I think they've given up, yeah, I think they've given up 28, like 30, 37, 32, and then so I mean they've given up a bunch of points. So this is actually their best defensive game. So they play Jacksonville this coming week, so we'll get into that
Hmm.
on Friday because I have a lot to say about that. I have a lot to say about Blake, about Leonard. So we'll see. Let's see. New England back on top.
Yeah.
Kind of they seem to do this every time we doubt them. Oh, Tom Brady's 1-2, and then he comes out and they almost blow
Yeah,
Miami
they
out
beat an
38
undefeated
nothing.
team.
So their division's weak. They're going to win everyone had Miami in the top 6 or 7 going into the game. Now, they got to fall below mid pack. That was just they played one good team finally.
Agreed.
And didn't show up. New England will win the division, as obviously. I don't know what seed they're going to be yet. Still be determined. They play Baltimore late in the year. So that'll be a fun game. The Atlanta-Cincy game, I kind of forgot about that game. It quietly went crazy.
Atlanta gave it up, man.
I sat there and I watched football all day long. I switched back and forth between the Jags game, the Titans game, and Red Zone. The hype for the Cincy-Atlanta game just wasn't as big as it was. People were going more crazy over Detroit and Dallas than they were the Atlanta game. Matt Ryan went for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and they lost. He was only player in history to go for 350 plus and something like that and lose.
It was 419 and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it's the only player to go over 350 and 3 TDs and consecutive games and then lose. Cause defense is gross. Patrick Mahomes could easily be in the same category, but he's being able to pull it out at the end each week, and Atlanta's not. I think they're 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Or are they 2 and 2?
That's scary.
Okay, that's not playoff bound at all, especially in that division with the Saints being well. Tampa's done for. It's over with. Tampa had their 2-game run, then they benched Fitz, and then Winston came in and threw a pick right off the bat. So he's same old Winston. We'll get more into that next week. Dallas pulled out, gut-wrenching win. Their new kicker
Zeke finally
came through for him. Everyone was wondering.
Yeah, he had over 200 game yards.
Mm-hmm. He got me, I think, 31 fantasy points.
Yeah, and you played Sony Michel?
I didn't play Sony. He got 17, but he was on the bench. I wasn't sure exactly what they were going to do with him. But, my team scored 140 points. But actually, I didn't even look and see what Emmanuel Sanders did last night. I don't even know who scored.
He had a few. I don't know. I don't see his stat.
I don't know. All I know is I won by 70 points. Dallas, I think that makes them 2 and 2.
Yep.
The NFC East, Philly's 2 and 2. Carson, he looked good against Tennessee. He made some good throws. Alshon Jeffrey's back. He scored a touchdown. But Tennessee's defense sacked him 4 or 5 times.
Titans are tied with the Jags, aren't they?
Yeah, well, we have the lead in the AFC South because we beat them. But, we're both 3 and 1. But in that Tennessee game, Marcus played really, really bad in the first half. He threw that terrible pick. Couldn't seem to get it going. They jumped on us 10-3. And then I think it went 17-3. And, that's what it was. We were down whatever it was, and he threw a pick with 50 seconds left in the half. So it wasn't looking good, but then he does what he always does. Marcus Mariota is great in the fourth quarter. I think he said he had 11 come from behind or game-leading drives in the fourth quarter. It's the most in, I don't know, however many years he's been in the league. So he played great. Tennessee, I think they convert 4 times on third down in that last drive. Or on something like that, 3 or 4 times on fourth down. So that's 2 big upsets for them in a row. They beat Jacksonville last week, and then now they just beat Philly. We should have beat Miami week 1, but Marcus got hurt. So, we're Marcus Mariota being injured away from 4-0.
Agreed.
Other overtime game was Indy and Houston.
Andrew Luck looked pretty good, man. Yeah,
well, did you see the last sequence of plays in the game?
No,
did you watch it? Okay. I think Andrew Luck and them were on their own 38-yard line with 1:20 left in overtime. They was tied 34-34. They had 4th and 4, like I said, from their own 30-something. They could have just punted the ball back, and more than likely the game ends in a tie. But instead they went for it and threw a 6.5-yard curl. They get for the first down. Andrew Luck pretty much threw it in the dirt. They turned the ball over. Houston ran one play that got them down to the 17 and then kicked the field goal and won the game. And yeah, Indy's head coach came out and he was like, "We don't play for ties in this league. We play to win or we play to lose." He said, "I was not going to punt the ball and take a risk of tying in the NFL." So he decided to lose
Oh, it's
instead
on
of
him.
get a tie. So now Indy and Houston are both 1-3 and way behind in that division. Aaron Rodgers didn't play great,
Yeah,
but they
he
still
beat the
won
Bills,
22
man.
nothing.
Bills didn't get one on them.
Well, it was crazy. You know, the Bills popped off the week before against Minnesota, who has probably the second best defense in the league. And then they come out against Green Bay, who never has a good defense, and the old goose egg up. So Buffalo's still easily the worst team in the league. Talked about Jacksonville a little bit earlier. They thrashed the Jets. That game was never even – the score was actually a lot closer than what the game even was. Sam Darnold looked like a second-tier rookie quarterback again. Fournette's doing exactly – listen, at the beginning of the year, I said Jacksonville will be atop of the AFC and probably the 2 or 3 seed in the AFC if Leonard can play 13 games. Well, he's already missed 2, and now they're talking about him missing maybe 2 more. And honestly, I said it even before, I think they're better without him.
That's a bold statement there, buddy.
Well, he doesn't I watched the game. Every time he gets the ball, their offensive line isn't blocking well, which could be a problem. But he puts his head down like a yard past line of scrimmage, just falls down. It's got to be his hamstring because he used to hit the hole and he'd hit a guy in the chest at 2 yards and then run his legs for 4 more yards and fall for 6. Now it's like he's just kind of getting the line and boom.
But he
has no explosiveness right now.
He's still a red zone threat though.
But,
He can't.
Well, yeah, I think what Jacksonville should do, they're obviously in a good position. They got a tough matchup this week with KC. He's more than likely not going to play. So what they need to do is if they can get through this game, they should just be easy with them, maybe play them 3 or 4 more games this year. And then when it comes playoff time, like everybody knows when you can run the football, you win playoff games. Even though how big of a passing league we are now, running the football and the playoffs is always a big deal. That's a lot of the reason why Aaron Rodgers can't get out the first round. He can sling it for 400 yards, but they never have a running game to help him. You got to be able to run. Fournette has to be there for – I mean, he carried them through the Pittsburgh game last year.
Agreed.
He had 3 touchdowns.
Brown.
Any other
Cleveland or
Oakland? Baker Mayfield? Yeah. Baker looked good. He looked, to play against Oakland, which is probably the second worst team in the league.
Baker didn't look good, man.
Well, he
it was bad.
4 turnovers, right? I mean, everyone's praising him about how great he is and how good he's playing. I mean, his first ever start in the NFL, he lost, which, I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this. They were like, yeah, but he put up 42 points. He threw for this many yards and that many yards. I'm like, okay. Okay, that's a fair argument. But Matt Ryan and Matthew Stafford each week put up like 350 plus with 3 or 4 touchdowns. They lose. It's their fault. Why do they have those big contracts? They suck. Joe Flacco, even though he plays very bad, a lot of times it's not his fault. Tom Brady broke records in the Super Bowl throwing the football and lost the game, and it was Brady's fault. So why is that not the same concept for Baker?
It should be. He still has a lot to prove for me to tell him he's a good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he's proved to me is that he can mentally handle being on a bad team. Because with him being in Oklahoma, they were so good every year. Him coming to Cleveland and them struggling, I thought he would maybe kind of wimp out and be a little brat. But he's at least seeming like he's matured, and he's a lot of fun to watch, and he's a lot of energy. But
I hope you started Amari Cooper last week, man.
I did. Yeah.
He finally put up some fantasy points.
Yeah, I think he got, I want to say 15. I'm not sure what it was exactly.
He had 8 receptions for 128 and a touchdown. So that's what? So that's what, like 12 points?
How many yards did he have?
128.
That's like 12. He must have got me like 17 or 18.
Because isn't it 6 for a touchdown? So.
But yeah, and then it's like 10 for every 10 yards, and then they go over 100. I don't know if it goes even smaller. Well, actually, one of the games that no one's really talked about is the Chargers and Niners game.
The Chargers about gave it up to a backup quarterback. That was bad.
I know. Like my Super Bowl pick is, they're 2-2, they're alive. But they're underachieving like hell. They are not. I mean, I predicted them to, I would hope they would have been at least 3-1. But like I said last week, I talked about this. They played who was like the Chiefs and Rams early, because that's their division, obviously. Well, one of them is. So they played them too early, and then whatever it is now for the rest of the time out, they have the worst schedule in the league, the easiest schedule in the league. They're going to soar. But the fact they give up 27 to San Fran doesn't say much.
That's bad.
So, yeah, hey, a win's a win, I guess. That's why it's the NFL, that no one cares how much you win by. The Giants got clobbered by New Orleans. Game was never close.
Kamara looked good in the second half.
Yeah, I think he's leading the league in like scrimmage yards per game.
I think he's leading touchdowns too.
Or is he? I know Julio Jones Atlanta's leading the league in yards, but he hasn't scored a touchdown since week 12 last year.
That's terrible.
So that's gotta suck. Like, okay, I'm the leading wideout, but I can't catch a touchdown pass. And then the Baltimore Pitt game, was that Sunday night? I think Pittsburgh is like last in the league in rushing and like second to last in yards per carry. They are not good without Le'Veon. Everyone thought that James Conner boy was going to carry him.
I was a believer in James Conner.
Yeah, everyone was after week 1, just like we all believed in Ryan Fitzpatrick after week 1. So Pittsburgh is, I think they're like 1-2-1, aren't they?
Yeah, 1-2-1.
Because they tied. Yeah. Okay. So they're, Baltimore's leading that division. Or no, Cincy's probably leading that division. I think they're 3-1. Baltimore's probably, I think, 3-1 also. So that's probably one of the toughest divisions of the league this year. I still don't believe in Cincinnati going far. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, we've been through this before. They play great all year long. Can't win a playoff game. And then I think one of the biggest stories of the week was Seattle barely beat Arizona. They're both really bad teams. But it was Earl Thomas, had a clean break on his leg?
It was a leg fracture, lower leg fracture.
Yeah, which they said there's no ligament damage, which is great. But, man, that's why these players want that guaranteed money, and they want me and JP, me and you, me and Eva. We've talked about this. That man held out to get a contract, to get paid, to get the guaranteed money. They didn't give it to him. He came and played anyway, and now his leg's broke, and he's done for the season. You
see his reaction on the cart, though?
So, yeah, he flipped off the middle sideline. And then I think Pete Carroll said in his interview, he was like, he said, well, there's a lot of people in that stadium, so I'm not sure who he was flipping off. It could have been anybody. Like, shut up, Pete. You know that man hates your soul. And then, Le'Veon came out and said, this is why I'm holding out. I guess I'll just keep being a bad guy for all of us. But then it's talking about coming and playing week 7.
Week 7's a bye week, right? So he's really playing week 8.
Well, yeah. But the thing is I think if he comes in and signs whatever it is, I think it's like $11 million. Well, it's 14 if he signs the franchise tag, but it's 11 if he does something else. He doesn't sign it, but there's something he can do where he'll get like 11, and then I think he's leaving like 9 on the table or something like that. So, I mean, honestly, if I'm Le'Veon, I don't even come back in, especially if this team's terrible. Like, what happens if he comes back and plays kind of well?
Who do they? Okay, so let me figure out who they're playing. The rest.
I don't know who they play for the remainder of the season. I know they got to play Jacksonville at some point.
So they play Atlanta next week.
Okay, see, don't even play that game.
So he would be playing against Cleveland, Baltimore, Carolina, Jacksonville, Denver, Chargers, Oakland, New England, New Orleans, and Cincinnati.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule.
Really tough.
Like, with that schedule, they might win, like, 4 of those games with the way they're playing. The bad thing about the Steelers is, like, at any point, Big Ben and AB and Juju could pop off and score like 50 points. But they haven't done it yet. I mean, they had one game where I think they scored high, and other than that, they've just been shut down. And when you have no running game and you're one-dimensional, people because like with Le'Veon there, we all know you're going to put 8 in the box, and that's AB 1-on-1, or they'll put 7 in the box and they'll play off zone coverage, and Juju gets loose underneath all the time. Well, with no Le'Veon, you're just blitzing forward. You're going to rush forward and play coverage. And that's how you beat the Steelers. That's how Jacksonville beat them twice last year. You just shut down the running game. I think Le'Veon had like one good run against Jacksonville last year.
I think Pittsburgh needs. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but I think Pittsburgh needs Le'Veon back in order to go somewhere.
Yeah, but there's also like I wish they would trade him just to kind of just tick off some Steelers fans.
There's some trades they can do on the table. I can tell you.
Send him to the Jets. Let him go play down there with Sam Darnold.
It's a possibility. Who knows? Jack might pick him up.
The Jags would have to give up literally everything and everyone. They would have to like give up Fournette, a first rounder, a second rounder, and probably some like conditional.
Would you give up Fournette for Le'Veon?
And I don't know. You have to give up more than just Fournette. And yes, I would. That's
okay.
Heartbeat. I mean, Fournette has been in the league
2 seasons
for 20 games, regular season games. And I think he's played like 14 or 15. Because I know he missed like 3 games last year. And he's missed really 2.5 this year. And he's going to miss probably 2 more at least. So it's like it's no surprise to anyone. In LSU, that's why he didn't like play half of his senior year. Or I don't know if it was senior year, whatever it was, his final year. He didn't really play because he didn't want to get hurt. Because he was already hurt. So that's nothing new to Jag. Well, if you're an actual Jag fan and you've followed who they brought in and where they came from, you know Fournette has had injury problems his entire career. And I think at some point we all knew this was going to happen. Hopefully it gets better, but once they say once you hurt a hamstring, it's never the same way ever again. So.
Yeah, that was week 4, most of it.
Great week. I won my fantasy matchup. Tennessee won.
Yeah, all wins.
Florida won.
It was a winning weekend.
Florida upset Mississippi State. That was amazing. I wish Florida State would have lost, but they beat Louisville. Was it Clemson barely beat Syracuse, I think. So that was a close game. Bama blew somebody out. Ohio State, I think, blew somebody out. Same old college football. Nothing really new. We can jump to the Ryder Cup really fast if anybody paid attention to that. U.S. played the Ryder Cup over in Europe. They ended up losing to the Europeans. I'm not sure. It was 17.5 to 10.5 overall. What was the Sunday singles? I'm not sure what the actual overall total pointage was.
Yeah, there was something. Oh, yeah. One of the bystanders got hit in the eye. Lost his eyesight. Yeah, I think I saw a story somewhere, but that was crazy. Yeah.
Really? I know Tiger played well. He didn't play great or very good. He played well, but I don't think Tiger's really plays well in the Ryder Cup, honestly, like in the past. And, I'm pretty sure Europe has the dude that just won like the FedEx Cup or whatever. Like, and they had the dude, I think, because he won the last tournament and the whole thing, I believe. So, I don't know. I guess they didn't play well enough. I do know that normally in the Ryder Cup, when like the USA comes to they're introduced in the beginning, they get booed in Europe and they're competing Europeans. But they said when Tiger walked up there, like he just got like a massive ovation. And he should, because he's Tiger, and that's an amazing comeback. To even be invited back to the Ryder Cup this year is just a win for golf altogether. So I don't know when like their season starts again. I don't know how, because I know golf's pretty much like
they always have something going on
all the time. Which obviously Tiger and those guys, they don't play every single tournament, so we'll have to keep an eye out for the next one. I think we talked about this like a week or so ago. Tiger I think has the best odds.
I think we talked about last week. He was like 9-1. I think his odds were.
Yeah, my one buddy Chris from work says he thinks Tiger's probably going to win 2 majors this year.
That's a bold prediction.
That's very, very bold. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully he does. I just hope that this like little comeback he had is like consistent. He continues with it. He doesn't come in next year and just completely crap. Hope this doesn't fall off. So One more thing I wanted to get to before we sign off is MLB
Yeah,
playoff
it was that fight. It was a
scenarios.
ton of tiebreakers.
Yeah, it kind of shook everything up because last time we talked about it, the Cubs
They were
were
clinched.
ahead of like
Yeah,
the
they were
NL,
clinched.
I think. Well, they were clinched in the playoffs, but they hadn't clinched the division title. And however it went down, I don't know who beat who, but now the
Yeah,
Brewers
because
have
the
won that
Brewers beat the
division.
Cubs and the Dodgers beat the Rockies.
Okay, so that's what it was. So now the Rockies and Cubs are playing in the one-game wild card match to play the Brewers. And then so that's the one in the Brewers are the 1 seed. I'll do it this way: Brewers are the 1 seed, the Dodgers are the 2 seed. They play 3 seed Atlanta, I guess probably towards the end of this week. And then the 4 and 5, which is the Grizzlies and Cubs, play each other. The Grizzlies, the Rockies, play tonight, and the winner of that plays the Brewers. And then on the other side, you have Boston as the 1 seed, Houston as the 2 seed. They're playing Cleveland, the 3 seed, and the A's and Yankees play tomorrow night to see who will go play Boston.
So should be interesting.
It's weird when you like physically look at the bracket. It looks funny because like you have your 8 slots for I guess in the NFL it'd be called the divisional round. I guess they call it they do
ALDS and NLDS.
It's just weird they have like a little like bracket stem out the one game. Funny looking. Like to me, like couldn't they just add like 2 more slots and make it even all the way around? But it's cool. I mean, some people like the 1 game playoff system. For them, like I said, I don't, because baseball is based on all year long being the most consistent, best team. And then if you get into a wild card round, you just got to hope your pitching matchup is better. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll keep up with that. I will try and watch some of those. I don't know how well I will watch those, but I'll at least keep up with it. Did you see? It was Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run. I think it was Saturday afternoon, and like he hit it out like center field, and the dude caught it in like the 3rd row
and hit him.
Flung it back in the field. It hit him around his second. Yeah, hit him right in the waist. I was like, God, that dude's got an arm.
Hey, did you watch LeBron play at all this weekend?
No, I didn't watch I watched highlights, and I saw he played like 15 minutes, which was a lot. He looked good. He hit a 3 or 2. He gave some little no-look passes. It looked like LeBron, and he looks like he's an amazing
looks huge,
shape.
Man.
It's sad that like the 30-something-year-old dude on your team looks way more athletic and in shape than like the 20-year-olds that are playing. They just look lanky. They're not like filled into their bodies yet, and LeBron's just like 2% body fat. Like, amazing.
It was just interesting to see him in purple and gold.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I'm glad he played, because we did talk about on our last show if he was going to play or not, because they said he wasn't, or he said he wasn't, and then there was a lot of backlash about why you wouldn't play. So good to see him get out there, and that shows me LeBron's worried about the team image, and like playing basketball rather than just worried about himself personally. So I mean, he's concerned about the chemistry and wants to.
Boston looked pretty good.
I
saw some highlights.
They should. MLB basketball is going to be fun this year. How long does their preseason last?
It lasts another 2 weeks because they play on the 16th.
God, it's like the NFL preseason. It takes too daggone long.
But that was sports weekend.
Yeah, well, that's sweet. Yeah, NFL's in full swing. Baseball's about to get down to the nitty gritty, and basketball's almost back. Yep. So me and Brett, we have a bit of a surprise this week. We haven't. I mean, I was going to tweet it out earlier, but I just figured we'd do it tonight. We have a guy named Will Brown. He works for the St. Augustine Record. He's the local sports guy. I follow him on Twitter. A lot of people know him. He reports on all like the high school football, high school sports. I mean, if you go to his Twitter page, it's just constant, like keeping up with high school golf, volleyball, basketball, football, baseball, any of it. So I shot him a message this week, talked to him a little bit, called him yesterday, and set up where he's going to record with us on Friday. I made it easy. He's going to call in, do a call in with us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be pretty sweet. Give kind of reporter insight. Me and you, we just kind of wing it and talk it, and give our opinions. So it'll be cool to have someone who's real. He seems like a real numbers guy to me. He's deep to it, so we got to be in our A game for him. But yeah, join us for about 10 or 15 minutes on Friday. So we'll be here.
We're going to cover some high school football.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're going to talk a little. I've been wanting to talk about it. I always forget. We're going to try and localize a little more and talk about stuff around here. But, yeah, we're going to bring him in, talk for 10, 15 minutes. And, hopefully, he enjoys it, and we'll come back. We'll see how it goes. And so, like I said, we'll be live on here. You guys can either watch it on here on Friday around noon, or Brett pulls the audio off and releases the audio and video the next day. So it'll be on all our platforms: Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes, iPodcast. Don't forget to go rate us, give us a review. We need all the ratings we can get, please. All the support. We appreciate the people who do support us and watch us and click on our links, and we appreciate it. Keep doing it. Tell your friends, and see where it can go. So, well, Brett, anything else?
We covered everything: football, basketball, baseball. I think we hit it all this week.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to y'all and see y'all on Friday.